Hello, and welcome to the Body Neutrality Workshop. And we are talking today about 3 ways to honor your here and now body, the body that you are in right now at this very moment today. So I'm going to dive right in and get started. I'm going to share a PowerPoint here with you. And I'm going to pop into the screen. I'm going to be part of your screen for now. I will probably pop out just so it's not a distraction as we get started, but I want to know that I'm right here. So I'm going to stay for a couple of slides and then I'll kind of sneak out so that it doesn't distract you as we kind of move forward. So today's workshop is about body neutrality. What is body neutrality? How can we find a way to honor our here and now bodies in all sizes and shapes and forms and how they all look? So I am going to get started. This is what we are going to discover as we go through today. We're going to uncover 3 different ways to begin this journey, begin this process of honoring our here and now body. We're also going to discover how, your own self-talk, the way you speak to yourself, impacts your body image, thus how you feel about your body. And also how I can support you on your own body joyful journey going forward. So the interesting piece is we can learn to do this, learn how we can honor our here and now bodies in less than 10 minutes a day. So I'm so excited to share this with you because it really, the way that you walk in the world, in your body, the way you feel about it, can change everything. It changes the decisions you make. It changes the clothes you wear. It changes the people that you talk to. It changes the relationships that you have. It changes the way that you eat or move your body. It changes everything. So I'm going to share a little bit of the backstory here. And as I do this, when I click my video out, this is a picture of me when I was about 3. So my whole journey started very young. I was a chubby little baby. I was talked about as a chubby baby, chubby thighs, chubby cheeks, chubby buttocks, chubby belly. So I kind of grew up in this with this feeling that I was fat. And it came from the experiences that I had as a child. So one of the stories that I tell about this journey into my eating disorder as a 12-year-old is this experience with my brother. And he had a nickname for me. He and his friends, I don't know who came up with it, doesn't matter, but it was Annie Fanny Farmer. And the interesting thing was my brain, because I already had felt fat in my body due to this chubby baby syndrome, right? All I could hear was the word fanny. I have a fat fanny. So that was what I took from this nickname. And it just continued. I would search for ways to prove to myself, I didn't know I was doing it at the time, to prove to myself that I was fat. And so this just is the tree of the way I've lived 40 years of my life. I had an eating disorder that I was hospitalized for when I was 12. I also had backdrops into eating disordered behavior 2 other times in my life. So reoccurrences of an eating disorder, depression, anxiety. You can see perfectionism for sure, binge eating due to the restriction that I would continue to place upon myself as punishment for not feeling good about myself, not feeling good about my body. So all of these things, this was the way I lived my life. This was who I was. I was fat. I didn't fit in. I was stupid. I couldn't control my weight. I would go on diet after diet after diet after diet, never feeling good enough, because after every single diet, I would end up falling off into a binge behavior. So it was either a binge eating behavior or an off the diet all bets are off, doesn't matter anyway, depression, eating episodes. So my weight was always going up and down. I even now can look at a picture of me, and by the size of my body, I can tell exactly where it is in my story. Oh, that was 1981. Oh, that was 1999, right? So I can do that just due to the size of my body throughout my whole life. And I'm not alone when it comes to this. So this is kind of where I'm coming from here. And in the midst of midlife, almost exactly in midlife, right about the time I was 50, I was just over 50, I hit a wall, and boy, was it a big one. My body was just starting to break down. It couldn't do the things I needed it to do, or I wanted it to do. It was never looking the way I wanted it to do. And food was the enemy for sure. I had a love-hate relationship with food. I was either all in or all out. And I just was exhausted. My body wasn't working and I was tired. I was sitting in a hospital bed, actually going to have a part of my leg broken so that I could realign my legs so that I could continue to pound on my legs in order to feel, in order to burn calories, really is the bottom line here. I needed to change my body and I needed to keep being able to exercise. And so when they weren't able to do the surgery due to the fact that my leg was too bad, they couldn't do this particular break of the leg and line my knee up. They just went in and cleaned it up. I didn't know what I was going to do. It was like my life was over. My identity was taken from me. All I knew was exercise and diet, exercise and diet. And so this wall came crashing down on me. And to be honest, it wasn't even about the food. I thought it was about the food being the enemy, food being wrong, food being bad, good foods, bad foods, food being the culprit of how I felt in my body. And it was because of how I felt in my body that I was always looking to change the way I ate. And then always feeling the guilt, the waterfall. I think about this flooding of guilt and shame that came anytime I ate something that was quote unquote bad. So it wasn't even about the food. It was about the way I saw myself. And that is what this is all about. Looking at ourselves and seeing ourselves differently so that we can take this journey on honoring our here and now bodies. So I made this bold and courageous decision. I'm done. I'm done dieting. I'm never going to diet again, period. End of story. That's it. And it was not this was kind of one of my best all or nothing choices. I am never going to put myself on a diet and restrict myself around eating again. I think about a lot of the people that walk this journey through trying to find how to get the body that they want, or fighting against society, not ever feeling good enough in their bodies. When we don't feel good in our body, the one thing that society has continued, the $72 billion a year diet culture has told us is, oh, well, if you don't like the way you look because you don't look like you're supposed to, dieting is the answer. And so this one decision to jump all in, to say, I'm never going to diet again, was the most significant decision that I made. And it was scary. I was afraid that everything would go to pot. But that I didn't know, other than I couldn't live the way I was living. And so by never dieting again, I knew I had to look at myself differently. I had to take another look at where I was coming from, who I was trying to be, who I am. And that led me to all kinds of opening of doors for myself. I searched out for ways to help myself. The very first thing I did was get a therapist, because sometimes that is the most important. I want to pop back in here in the corner and say, making the decision, I remember it distinctly. I was on a small little lake, I was sitting on the side of the lake, and I had my journal, and I'm jotting in my journal, and I was writing the exact same thing over and over and over again. And I just was like, why am I always here beating myself up in my journal? I can't do this right. I can't do that right. The way I look, all of those things. And that's when I picked up the phone and I dialed, I Googled therapy, addiction therapist is what I Googled. And I found two names. I left a message on the first one. I left a message on the second. The second lady called me back and I started right away. That was my starting point. So therapy was a big part of my healing. And then I went back to school for eating disorders. So I became an eating disorder specialist and became an intuitive eating counselor. I learned and absorbed as much as I could, because from this education, I realized, why didn't anybody tell me that diets don't work? Why didn't anybody tell me that our bodies are designed to be different, that our bodies will be different? We all are going to be different. Why didn't anybody tell me about the billion-dollar beauty industry and airbrushing, and all the different things that happen to really shift the way we see ourselves, and kind of, what's the word? They infiltrate our brain that you're not right, that your body's not right. You need to look a certain way. And if you don't look that way, you can't get that job. You can't go on that trip. You're not allowed to, you can't be happy. You can't be successful. You can't be in a good relationship. So it's brainwashing is the word I was looking for. Like, we get brainwashed, but I just dove into learning and seeing things completely different. Self-talk was a huge piece of this journey, meditation and diving into yoga nidra and decreasing stress, along with the intuitive eating and along with the eating disorder specialist, and along with, understanding our bodies and seeing our bodies differently, and realizing that there is this journey that we can honor and respect our here and now bodies as we are. So this is the story of how we can do that, right? And so I'm going to stop video. I'm going to come back. So this is where I, made these different changes. So let's dive into how to do this. What does it look like, right, for you? So here are the three secrets, and I hope this works out okay. It might not. That's okay. These 3 secrets on how to honor your here and now body. Secret number 1, identify your seeds of belief. So I talked about these little seeds. You're a chubby baby, Annie Fanny Farmer. I have a series of others, but identifying your seeds of belief can be the starting point, because then you can start to peel the layers back and look at them differently. Secret 2, become aware of your own inner dialogue. What is your inner critic saying? And how is that affecting you? And secret number 3, being willing to choose to see yourself differently. So those are the things that we are going to talk about as we move forward here. So let's start here in this place. How do you feel right now about your body? Pause for a second, take a deep breath and say, how do I feel right now in my body? What are the words that come up? What are the phrases that come up? If you have a notebook, it's a great idea to jot down, or something that's not right near you, to jot down, 3, 5, 10 words. How do you feel in your body right now in this moment? As maybe you look down at your belly, as you look at your legs, as you look at your hands, as you look at yourself in the mirror, what are the words that come up? What are the things that come out of your brain when you think about your body? So this becomes step 1, is we're trying to identify how you feel about your body right now. And also sometimes the nuances of what impacts that. Sometimes we feel really good in our bodies because it might be the people we're around, or it might be the thing that we're doing. And then other times we feel really bad about our bodies because of the people we're around, or the things that we're doing. So we're really diving into identifying how you feel in your body, kind of on the long, you know, in a bigger game, stepping back, widening the focus, widening your what you see. How do you feel in your body overall? And then narrowing it down to how do you feel in your body right now in this moment. So now I'm going to pause for a second and just let you write. Allow yourself to notice some things. That's why I kind of am talking a little bit more through this slide, because I want to have you to have, I want you to have time to write these things down. I feel strong. I feel fat. I feel ashamed. I feel humiliated. I feel embarrassed. I feel competent. I feel comfortable. It can be anything, and they can be all in there. And then when you go back to look at this list, you can say, well, when do I feel strong? When do I feel embarrassed? When do I feel comfortable? Right? Because there are some external circumstances that play into how you feel in your body. So with that said, I'm going to show you something. I like this kind of on a continuum right to left, but it makes it really hard on a screen to share it with you. So if you think about this on kind of this continuum, right? Where do you fall on this continuum? Do you hate your body? Do you dislike your body? The book that I wrote, The Body Joyful, My Journey from Self-Loathing to Self-Acceptance, I spent decades in body hate, decades in body hate and body dislike. It was just body hate, body disgust. I hated my body. I hated everything about my body, and it didn't matter what it looked like. Even if I had lost weight or I had put on muscle or anything, it did not matter. I never liked it. It was never good enough. So where do you fall on this kind of continuum? Are you at body hate, body dislike? Are you at this body neutrality space? You know, it's a new space that people talk about over the past few years around my body is my body, and it does these things for me. And it is the vehicle that I travel my life in, and I don't hate it. And I'm not buying into loving it. I'm accepting, I guess, no, not accepting. It is a space where my body, I'm neutral about my body. It's more about what my body does for me and how I experience my life versus anything else. And then we kind of go up this scale to body appreciation, being really appreciative and grateful for all the things that our body, wonderful things our body does. And then it slides into body acceptance and confidence, and then possibly body love. The great thing about body neutrality, I call it the resting place. You know, it's a resting place to release the body hate, release the dislike, allow that to fall off, and then take steps forward from this neutrality into these other places: appreciation, acceptance, confidence, or love. So where do you fall? Where do you find yourself falling most of the time? And where does that feeling come from? Right? We were just talking about who, what, where, what are the external circumstances that impact how you feel about your body at any given time? Where does it come from? This is where we're finding, we're seeking, right? What and who in your story, the story of you, impacted how you feel about yourself, about your body. This is what I call becoming aware of your seeds, the seeds that were planted in your brain that took root and became beliefs about yourself. Chubby baby, fat baby, you need to lose weight. You'd be so pretty if, doctor's offices, shopping for clothes, being teased on a playground, any of those things, what are the impacts of your body image? And these are the seeds. So for me, it was certainly the seed of chubby, fat baby, the seed of Annie Fanny Farmer, the seed of having to go to the Husky department in Sears to get clothes, the seed of going to the doctor's office at 11 and having the doctor tell my mom, you better watch what she eats. So those are some of the seeds. Other seeds are the gym short at junior high not fitting, right? Having to go up and get a different size, and it's still really not fitting, and having to stretch the heck out of it and cry in the back of the locker room because I couldn't fit into the gym shorts. So these are the little seeds that can happen along your life. It can come from parents and teachers and coaches and experiences. There's no blame here. We're just trying to be curious and compassionate about where our own beliefs about our body came from. And what's really important to make sure to understand is we all have a unique genetic blueprint. Our bodies are not designed to be the same. With social media today, there's so much comparison of people and their bodies and their hair and their faces and their skin, all of these things. And yet we're designed differently. We were supposed to be different. It's part of our human experiences to be different. Even twins who have the same genetic blueprint, if you place them in an environment, they are going to still be affected by what's happening around them. The two twins sitting down to dinner are going to hear, you have to finish your plate or you won't get dessert, or why aren't you eating that? Or no, you can't have seconds. You're not allowed to have seconds for that until you eat this. They can hear the same things and they might take them and interpret them each individually, which is going to impact their actual DNA. So we have unique genetic blueprints. No one has your genes. No one has your experiences, period. And our experiences and our own belief systems actually impact how we feel, how we act, how we behave, right? So if I have a experience that I take a certain way, so the experience of the doctor saying, you better watch what she eats, she's on the high end of the scale, I hear that and think, I'm fat, right? And so my self-talk and my belief system starts to think that way. And because of that thought, I have different behaviors. Because of those behaviors, that might change or alter my physicality, because I am either eating or not eating, or I'm moving or not moving, or I'm turning to a numbing mechanism, alcohol or shopping or, something else to quell the feelings of not feeling good enough. So understanding that you have a unique gentle blueprint and your own self-talk, the way you speak to yourself. This slide impacts me every single time. I won't keep it on the screen long, but I think it's important. And I think it speaks so loudly of our next generation, of the way that we've been brainwashed on supposed to look a certain way. So I'm going to scoot that right off the screen, because I think it can be disturbing and triggering and impactful. I think about that little girl and her story. Where did she hear that roll on her belly wasn't good enough? Where did that come from? What experiences and circumstances was she placed in? See, I get emotional. I'm emotional with it. to make her feel that that's wrong, that her body is wrong, like she's not supposed to have these things on her body. It had to have come from somewhere. And that's what the self-talk park is about. We begin to develop thought patterns around these experiences of our youth. When we're born, it's a clean slate. We learn to talk because of the people around us. We don't go to school at 1 to learn how to say mama. We learn because we have a mama or a mom or a mother that's saying, say mama, say mom, say mommy, right? And that's how we learn. That's how we learn to speak. We watch as children, we watch what's happening. Kids are absorbing at a tremendous rate what's happening around them. The words, the language, the looks, the tones of voice, the conversations that happen around them. I think about walking down the mall with my father and him commenting on women's bodies as we walk and realizing that certain women's bodies were right, quote unquote, in his eyes, and certain bodies were wrong, quote unquote, in his eyes. And so we develop these belief systems around our own bodies and ourselves that become repeated over and over and over and over again. So I want you to think about, this is a quick visualization. Think about a field of grass, and I'm going to tell a little story about me. I'm 5 years old, and I come running around the corner because I was a little out of control, and I run into the table, and there's a glass of milk on the table. And that's my brother's, and the glass of milk spills on the floor and breaks apart and spills everywhere. So, and then my brother goes, "Oh, you're so stupid." So my brother, who I look up to, whom I want to be like, whom I want to like me, just call me stupid. So in my brain, in my, say, 6-year-old brain, I can't remember how old I was. This is just an imprint, right? I'm stupid. I'm so stupid. Why am I always doing that? I'm always making stupid mistakes, right? So this pathway starts. And if I'm on this field of grass and I walk from one side of the field to the other side of the field saying, I'm stupid, I'm so stupid, I can't believe I did that, I'm so stupid. If I walk that path once, there's some footsteps. If the next day I trip and I fall, my brain goes, I'm so stupid. So I walk it again. I'm so stupid. I'm always doing something stupid. Why am I always doing something stupid? Why can't I do anything right? I'm always doing something wrong. Someone's always yelling at me, right? So you can hear the escalation of the self-talk. Now, if I continue for that next 3 weeks, almost on a daily basis, which is researched based, that we have these self-talk patterns on a daily basis, multiple times a day, a lot of times, what's happening to that path? That path is getting worn down. Now, that path of I'm stupid starts at 5 or 6, and I'm still saying I'm stupid at 10 when I flunk a test. I'm still saying I'm stupid at 20 when I decide to try to shoplift something, right? I'm still stupid at 30 when I make a mistake at work. I'm still stupid at 40, right? So now you can understand where this path is going. So this pathway is like a superhighway. And this is what we call neuroplasticity of the brain. I know it's a little researchy, but it's this walking back and forth of the same dialogue in your head over and over and over and over and over and over and over. When we do that, we create a really deep trench. You can even have somebody look at you differently, or hear a tone of voice and all of a sudden have a flood of these messages, right? It's our inner critic, the inner mean girl, whatever you want to call it. I call it my mini me, verbally degrading you, verbally beating you up. And as you're doing that, the grass on either side of your pathway has grown up. And the only way we can shift the way we start to talk to ourselves is if we step into the weeds. And so that's what we're talking about here, is stepping into the weeds. And what does that look like to step into the weeds? One of the analogies I like to use, because I think it's an important one and it hits a point, is when we receive a good gift from a friend, we treat it great. We respect it. We wear it all the time. We wash it carefully. We put it up on the bureau, whatever it is. When we receive a bad gift or a gift we don't like from a friend, it ends up in the bottom of the closet. We regift it. We give it away. We send it to Goodwill. Doesn't matter. But we don't treat it well. So if we think of our bodies as a good gift, we are most likely to treat it well. When we think of our bodies as a bad gift, we are most likely to beat it up. So part of this journey to honoring your here and now body is discovering your language around your body and your self-talk, and then developing a different kind of, I call it my Maxi-Me mindset, a more compassionate, kinder, softer, stronger, more positive voice. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. One of the best coaching sessions I had was when someone said to me, I finally realized I couldn't hate myself then. The internal voice beating herself up over and over and over again was not working. It was something different. Something had to change. And it was the way she saw herself and the way that she was talking to herself. So I have a couple of these just to kind of share as we go. The longer we hold on to our self-talk patterns and the way we see ourselves and the way we speak to ourselves, the longer we're going to have the same behaviors and outcomes, right? If I think this way, I behave this way, and then this is the result, right? So this is a great quote. If I want to change the way I see myself, if I want to change the way I walk through the world, if I want to actually say yes and experience going to the beach and having a great time with my kids and playing with my kids, or if I want to experience going out to dinner and enjoying the dinner and not worrying about counting and calculating and beating myself up in shame and guilt and blah, 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 right? There's a different way, but we have to think different thoughts. So, how to honor your here and now body. Now, I'm just going to go through these because you can do these in less than 10 minutes a day. And this is the key to our journey forward, how we can honor our here and now bodies. And the very first thing is gratitude. What can your body do for you right now, right here, today, in this moment? My body can. My body can dream. My body can walk. My body can see the sunrise. My body can taste a chocolate cake. My body can sing. My body can dance. My body can pick up my grandson. What can your body do? And in a 2 minutes in the morning or in 2 minutes every night, writing down, what did my body do for me today? And when this is hard in your head, think about your senses. What did my body smell? What did my body touch? What did my body see? What did my body hear today? Oh, I love the sound of the seagulls on the beach. Oh, I love the sound of that baby laughing, right? What are the sounds? What are the sights? What are the feelings? Every day, what did my body do for me today? This is pulling us into a more appreciative space. It's not about what the body looks like. It's about what the body can do for you versus what it can't. That's step one. And I just love that picture, right? Yay, looking in the mirror. Let's see myself differently. And this is from Cheryl. I appreciate my body and food now. My headspace is so much more expansive. I'm not spending time in my body, time in my mind, worrying about all those things. 95% of my time was spent thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, shaming, I missed out on experiences with my daughters. I missed out on experiences with my life. I missed years of my life because I was absorbed in my head. And that's what we're trying to shift. How to talk to yourself differently. These are 3 pieces, and here's a great way of doing this. So shifting your self-talk, becoming grateful to your body is one step, and that actually starts to shift your self-talk a little bit. But your own self-talk, when it starts to kick in, when your mini me, inner critic, inner mean girl starts to kick in, if your best friend, if your 5-year-old you, or your young niece or nephew or son or daughter or grandson or granddaughter was speaking that way, was saying the same things that you say to yourself that are so mean and degrading, what would you say to them? And that's part of this development of walking into the weeds, utilizing self-compassion, finding some kindness in your voice and tone in your voice, finding some neutrality. This is my body. It allows me to be independent and go to the store and get the groceries. It allows me to get down on the floor and play a board game with my kids. It allows me to, right? These are the things my body allows me and affords me to do. So 2, talking to yourself differently. And one of the great ways, which is so funny, these are simple, simple, simple. Here's another 2-minute one, right? Holding a power pose, hands on your hips, head held high, shoulders back, or arms straight up overhead, like a touchdown or a victory. If you hold that pose, and you can do it in a bathroom stall because I have, it actually lowers cortisol and increases self-confidence. Smiling can increase the way we feel or change the way we feel, right? Dancing can change the way we feel. Music can change the way we feel. Our bodies, shifting the way our bodies move, can also change the way we feel, and thus the way we're seeing and talking to ourselves. And 3, taking a deeper look at who you are and what makes you you. This is one of my favorite exercises. It's called the Petals of Worth. You'll get this as you get this, with the email of this workshop. And it comes from intuitive eating, Evelyn Tribole and Elise Reich. But what you do is you take a crayon or a colored pencil and you fill out all the little petals of all the non-physical things of who you are. You like animals, you're creative, you're curious, you like to climb trees. I don't, it can be anything, but they're not physical. It's about who you are. And a way to help you with this is, why does your best friend like to hang out with you? Are you funny? Do you have a good sense of humor? Are you compassionate and kind and giving? Are you religious? Do you have certain values that are important to you? What are the things that make you you? So we have 3 pieces here, right? We have 3 pieces plus a few more things to remember about. 3 pieces. These are 3 things you can do in under 10 minutes. It takes you 2 minutes to do a gratitude. It takes you 2 minutes to step into the weeds and hold a power pose. And it might take you 5 or 6 minutes to fill out even a couple petals on the Petals of Worth. But you're seeing yourself differently. And that's the key. By believing in yourself in a new way and seeing yourself in a new way, you all of a sudden become a role model for all those around you. And I go back to that picture of the little girl with the scissors. If I am different, if I am seeing myself differently, I'm talking differently, I'm acting differently, and that people around me are seeing that as well. You can choose to see a different perspective of your support of yourself. And so I want to share this particular way of how I might be able to help support you on this journey. You have 3 steps that you can use, 3 secrets that you can find ways to change the way you start to see yourself, to shift you up that continuum of body image. And I'm going to introduce to you, this is the Building Body Confidence Coaching Program. It is an immersion where you jump in and you dive in, lifetime access, to this building body confidence and gaining self-acceptance immersion. It is a program you get something almost every single day to work towards building confidence in your body, honoring this body, today's body, along with one-on-one private coaching. So when you hit a stumbling block, we talk through it. We dive into that. It includes a VIP Body Joyful Breakthrough, which is an onboarding and goal setting. Where do you want to go? Where are you now? How do we want to get there? What does it look like? And in noticing and identifying and understanding and validating all of your seeds, because that's part of this journey. By identifying our seeds, then we can start to replant some new ones. And then it also includes the Body Neutrality Starter Kit and unlimited access to on-track accountability sessions. Plus, for the first 10 people who enroll in this program, you can receive over $300 of bonuses, a signed copy of the Body Joyful book, along with the online companion journal of step backs, and Stress Less with Yoga Nidra guided meditations. As I said, that was part of my journey. I became a Yoga Nidra guide, and I have a series of 13 amazing meditations, guided meditations to help you reduce stress and increase confidence. So for the first 10 to enroll, you can receive that as well. So the total value of this amazing immersion is $3,300, but you can get it today and for the next few days for 4 installments of $375, or you can save $300 when you pay in full. All you have to do is check that link and thebodyjoyful.com and say, sign me up, and we will get you started. I personally offer 100% happiness guarantee. If you complete all the training videos and we do all the coaching and you stay accountable to the things that you say that you will do, all the growth activities and listening to the self-talk and shifting the way you talk to yourself. And if you don't feel more comfortable and confident in your body, by the end, I will work with you for an additional 3 weeks, 21 days, to make sure that you move down that continuum a little bit more to get you going on your way. Being confident, feeling good in your body, boy, it changes everything. So as I finish out, I'm going to stop share. I'm going to come back to you and oh, there we go. There we go. So you have 3 amazing tools to help you start your journey, right? Of honoring your here and now body, this body, today's body, right here, right now. Gratitude and appreciation, shifting and walking into the weeds with your self-talk, and then looking at yourself differently, identifying what makes you, you through the petals of worth. Those 3 things, 3 secrets that get you started on your way. And if you want to really ingrain this, embody this, become a body joyful woman, a body confident person, then I encourage you to sign up for the Body Confidence Coaching Immersion. So much great information there, diving deeper into all of these things and identifying yours specifically, because we're all different. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. And at thebodyjoyful.com, all you got to say is sign me up, body neutrality workshop, whatever you'd like, and we'll get you rolling right away. And you too have the ability to change the way you see yourself. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being here.